Hi guys, and welcome back to Smarty. Well, today we're going to look at another typical problem, which is when the ignition gets stuck in the barrel. So this happened to me last week and I had a little bit of a panic, so I'll scrabble around on YouTube and I found a gentleman that had a bit of a hack, but I'll go on to about that a little bit later. So as you can see, started up, wouldn't come out. It just literally, whatever I tried, wiggling the steering wheel, just wouldn't come out. So this is the offending article. It's a steering lock solenoid. Basically a current goes through all the copper wire in that blue bit, and then it pulls the pin, which is where that black bit is, a circular brass bit with black bit in, and then the sticky out bit of silver, and the pin will retract, but it doesn't. So there is a quick tip: just bang the bottom. But how long that'll last, we don't know. Now, I realised after I'd done the video I hadn't shown you how to take it off, so this is where the two screws that you need are located underneath, and you'll see it when I put it back on later. And it Torx 20 sizes. And there we are, just to confirm. So here we are, with the cowling off, and there's the offending article. It's held on again by two Torx 20 screws, but this is the actual article. But this is what I think is the problem. It's got a sort of a, I think they call it sticky button syndrome on older 90s and noughties cars, where the rubber or the plastic just melts away, and it's getting sucked up into the barrel where the pin is. That's my suggestion, that's my thought process anyway. So I thought I'd just give it a clean with Mr. WD-40 and quite liberal amounts of the liquid and an old microfiber towel, and it did work for quite a while. 3 days, 4 days, and then it sort of reared its head again, so I don't know whether the residual amount started to get into the pin again, but I'll show you. But what the gentleman did from the other video is he cut a hole in the cowling so that he could just press that little bit, that little black circle. It's actually a rubber button and you can actually push in as it was a doorbell. So here we go. After I cleaned it thoroughly, I was able to take the key out with no problem at all. But again, like I said, it didn't last forever, so I would recommend either taking it out and giving it a good clean, which is what I eventually did, and I haven't had an issue since, or buying a replacement. And there are, so search for Smart 453 ignition solenoid. Here are the locating lugs of the bottom part of the steering column cowling. I'm not lubricating them before anyone says anything. And these are the receiving lugs on the top of the cowling. As haphazard as it looks, it really does go in relatively easy. I will admit I did do this 2 times. This was my second take, but it did go in relatively easy, with the age-old adage of, if it isn't going in smoothly, don't batter it. So I recommend you release the steering lock for the height adjustment, and you've got the locating lugs all checked to make sure they're not bent or anything. So you're going to pull this towards you and then up. It'll make sense when you see it. So if you look at the heel or the bottom cowling, the furthest away, so nearest the front of the car, that goes in first, and then you sort of pull it towards you a little and then close it together. Just take your time, you can't do any damage. There you go, pull it towards you. One other little tip is, when you do put it together and you start to put the Torx screws back in on the bottom, is push the cowling when it's put together towards the front of the car a little bit. I found when I did it the first time and I tightened it up, the steering wheel wouldn't return to centre as easily because it was catching, so I'd clearly tightened it up too close to the steering wheel. And there you go. So it just remains to put the two T20s, Torx 20 screws in. I won't bore you with that, but just a reminder, here's where they go. one above the height adjustment lever and one which is clearly obvious. And like I said, gentleman figured out the exact spot where that solenoid button is, and he drilled a hole, so if you ever did need access again, he just needed to pop a little stick in it or something. So I thought it was a great idea. So here we go, that's with it all together now, and I thought I would just show you roughly where it goes. I won't speed it up because, like I said, just to recap, if you are finding yourself, and this happened for the first time, then if you go back and watch the beginning, if you really hit it hard in the right place, you may be fortunate enough for it to free up and you'll be able to pull your key out. Some other people have also, and I have tried this myself for a few days of driving, remove the solenoid altogether. So it is literally 2 Torx screws you undo, and then there's a simple cable that you unplug, and you can drive around without it. So, but again, it's an extra security measure, so it's up to you whether you want to do it. I wouldn't advise it, but I did it perfectly happily for 3 days. I'll link the description in the description box, the YouTube channel to the guy that gave me the idea to do this video, and the directions of what it looks like, etc. But here you go, all buttoned up. Yep, hit the wipers again, starting, checking its free play, out it comes, perfect, cup of tea time.